lovely friend. It is your favorite mediumship mentor here. My name is Mel. I am the owner of Soul Care Intuitive, where I help you learn how to become a medium, heal yourself, step into your power, and more. I'm so excited to have you here. If you want to learn more about me, go to my website, soulcareintuitive.com. I have a ton of free resources, courses, downloads, and of course, I have amazing courses that are going to help you heal, learn about mediumship, learn about your body, the chakras, and all kinds of amazing things. Check out my website again, soulcareintuitive.com. All the links will be down below in the description. I wanted to take a moment to answer the most common questions that I receive as a mediumship mentor, and I'm going to timestamp them down below so you can skip ahead to whatever you want to focus on. Let's just get right into this video. The very first question I have is, what is mediumship and how does it work? So mediumship is the ability to connect to spirits on the other side. You are connecting to the spirit world. So us in our physical bodies, we are spirit inside of this body. I am not Mel. My soul is inside of a body that is called Mel that I am speaking through right now. And I know that sounds so weird, but your soul is infinite. And when you pass away, your soul is still alive. Your soul is still active. You're still out there living and doing things. And so mediumship is when you are connecting to a soul that has passed outside of a body, a soul that is not inside of a body, if you will. I don't really like to use the term somebody that has died, because technically the body has died, but the soul, the person, they're still very much alive and living and doing things in the spirit world. I know my father, that when I connect to him, he shows me him riding motorcycles and being in the ocean surfing, which are things my dad loved to do. So my dad is not dead. His body that he was in is no longer here, but his soul is still out there. And that is what mediumship is. It is connecting soul to soul. You are receiving messages from a soul in the spirit world, giving you information about their life, giving you information to give to your client, or maybe you're a developing medium and you're practicing, so they're giving you information for your practice, for your benefit. Mediumship is simply a conversation from soul to soul. That's how I see it. You are having a conversation with your soul to another soul in the spirit world and passing on that communication and that information to the person that you're working with. Next question, and I received this one the most. Can anyone become a medium, or do you have to be born that way? 100% you can become a medium. And technically, you already are. As I said in the previous question, you are a soul inside of this body, and mediumship is just a conversation from soul to soul. You do not have to be born with mediumship abilities. You already are born with them. You are a soul, and your soul knows how to communicate to another soul. Even if, let's take a situation with your physical body here in this world, you walk into a room where a couple had been fighting, your soul can pick up that information and you know something had happened in that room. You can feel the vibe of anger in that room. If you walk into a room and there was a celebration and something happy, your soul picks up that information and you understand innately, without words being spoken, that something joyous happened here. Your soul is doing that same exact thing every single day, whether you realize it or not. You are communicating with your higher self, with your angels, with your spirit guides, with your friends and family in the spirit world, automatically, whether you realize it or not. So you are already born as a medium. I believe the question is more geared towards, can you learn how to harness these abilities? Can you learn how to strengthen them? And you absolutely can. If you followed me for a while, you'll know that I was not born with spiritual gifts right out of the gate. I never saw imaginary friends. I never saw friends or family at the end of my bed. I never talked to spirits. I never communicated with them before. And then at 36 years old, I had this really profound experience with spirit that led me on a journey to learn how to become a medium, to learn to become a medium. It took me several years, but I harnessed that ability, and now I teach students like yourself how to become a medium, how to make those connections, especially my specialty is if you've never had that mediumistic ability, I can teach you how to do it. I taught myself how to do it through courses, classes, books, mentors, finding groups on Facebook. You can do it too. You can learn how to become a medium. The next question I get a lot is, how can I tell if I have mediumistic abilities? If you've watched the previous question, I said we all have it. It is innate within us. We are always communicating with our spirit guides, our angels, our loved ones, whether we realize it or not. But some of the other ways that you can tell if you have these mediumistic abilities is through psychic senses. So clairvoyance, clairaudience, maybe you hear things that aren't there. Maybe you hear your name and nobody's there. Maybe you hear birds chirping and there's no birds around you. Maybe you see visions or things in your mind that you don't know how they got there. Other ways to tell if you're a medium is that you just know information. That is claircognizance, where information is just kind of downloaded in through your crown and you just know things. Are you somebody that when you're driving, you're like, you know what, I normally go straight, but something is telling me I know I need to go left? Okay, that is using your claircognizance. You're getting that information from the universe, from spirit, from your guides, from your higher self. That is using part of your claircognizance, your intuitive psychic abilities. And when you have those psychic abilities so profoundly, you can easily step into mediumship and learn how to do it. Are there different types of mediums? My answer is kind of yes and no. I think there's different ways to do mediumship, but a medium is still a medium. A medium is somebody who connects to spirit to give messages and information. A medium is somebody who can reach into, connect to the spirit world to talk to a soul with their own soul and communicate that to their client or to a person who's in front of them. Mediumship is mediumship, soul to soul communication. But there's different ways to do mediumship. Maybe you have a clairvoyant medium. This is somebody who uses their third eye. They see their information. They see it with their physical eyes, which is very rare, or they see it within their mind, pictures within their mind, which is most likely what a clairvoyant is seeing. It's within their mind. There's mediums that are clairsentient, which means they feel the information in their body. They feel the emotion come through. They feel how that person passed away. For example, when I'm connecting to somebody who passed away from chest or heart, maybe they passed away from breathing issues, I will have a very difficult time breathing because I feel that information. There is clairaudience, and this is a medium that would hear information. They would either hear it outside of their physical body, which again is very rare, or they would hear things inside of their head. Now, clairaudience, most of the time you hear it in your own voice, in your own mind. Sometimes you will hear it in a voice that is not yours. But there's different types and different ways of connecting, of doing mediumship. But a medium is a medium is a medium. It's somebody that connects to spirit in the spirit world. How do you develop and strengthen your mediumship skills? I love teaching this to my students in my mediumship course. There's so many fun ways that you can strengthen your mediumship. There's so many fun ways that you can learn about yourself and how you work and how your mediumship is flowing for you. So this question is a little difficult to answer because it's not a straight answer that I can give every person, because you're going to learn in your own way. They're going to learn in their own way. I might have a student who is cousins or sisters or best friends with somebody taking my class at the same time, and they both learn in completely different ways or experience their mediumship in completely different ways. It's really fascinating to see how each person in my courses is developing and learning on their own. So to strengthen your mediumship, I give this same advice to everybody. And my idea, my key way of strengthening mediumship is with a journal. Now go with me. Don't click off. You're like, a journal? How the hell? I feel like having a journal is your greatest asset. Why is that? Your journal is going to show you where you're getting things right, how you're working, your journal is going to show you where your mediumship is taking you. So for example, if you're in a reading, and I tell all of my students to write everything down about their readings, their sitting in the powers, their meditations, everything about their mediumship goes in this journal. So when you're doing a reading, afterwards you're going to write everything down. And as you go back through that journal, you're going to say, you know what? Oh my gosh, I keep seeing things. I'm more clairvoyant. I keep feeling things. I'm more clairsentient. Maybe you keep seeing the same thing. I keep seeing this apple, but I cannot figure out what it means. And then you see the apple again, and all of a sudden it means, for me, if I see it, for example, to me an apple means a teacher. So if I see an image of an apple in my mind, I know Spirit is trying to get me to say teacher. And over time, I learned that through journaling. I would write down apple, and I would say an orchard. That didn't work, and I would put that in my journal. I would see the apple again, and I would say a farmer. That didn't work. I wrote that down. And then I said teacher one time. I felt the intuitive hit that it was a teacher, and that was right, so I wrote that down. My next reading that I had an apple come in, a teacher came up again. It was right. I wrote that down, and I realized through looking at my journal patterns that were happening in my mediumship. An apple to me means a teacher. An apple to one of my students could mean a farmer. An apple to one of my students could mean the person made applesauce. I don't know. They mean something different to every person. So how can you strengthen and develop your mediumship? Get a journal. Write everything down that you're doing, seeing, experiencing. Everything you feel or see in a reading. Everything you feel or see when you're sitting in the power. You're going to start to see your strengths, and you can build on that. You're also going to start to see your weaknesses, and you can build on that and strengthen those. What is the difference between a psychic and a medium? This is a really short and simple answer, but a psychic is somebody that is able to pick up information from the living, somebody with a physical body, pick up information in physical areas like this room or a forest, a mountain. Maybe they go into the office, a park. They can pick up information from physical people, physical places. And a medium is somebody who connects to the spirit world, connects to someone in spirit to give messages received through their body to communicate it to their client. How can I safely connect to spirit without attracting anything negative? This is a very common question that I receive. I have a lot of people reach out to me and tell me that mediumship is something they feel so called to, something they've always wanted to do, but they're so afraid of connecting to something negative. I'm going to take you back to the beginning of my journey to actually answer this question. When I started learning mediumship, it was 2009, and I had this profound, beautiful, amazing experience. But after that, I was so scared that I was going to wake up and see negative beings at the end of my bed. I was so scared that I would have spirits or people, things in my home while I was sleeping. I was so afraid to not be in a room that had lights. Now, I'm somebody, I need it quiet, no TV, I need it pitch black, I have blackout curtains, I need it dark and no noise. But after I had that experience, I was so afraid of something negative coming at me, coming towards me, that I had to have the lights on, not only in my bedroom, but in the connected bathroom, and I kept the lights on in my hallway too. And then I would sleep with the TV on, and I had to have the TV loud because I was so afraid. Okay? Now, I tell you this because as soon as I realized that I have the power, if I say I'm afraid, I will always be afraid. If I say I'm free, I'm strong, you can't hurt me, you can't affect me, that is what will happen. And so I slowly started to tell myself, I don't have anything to worry about. I'm not afraid. I would be afraid of closing my eyes because I would see behind my eyelids, I'm not kidding you, the scariest, most horrific stuff because I kept telling myself, I'm so afraid of seeing evil. I'm so afraid of seeing these bad things that I would close my eyes and see them. Why? Because I kept thinking about it. I kept pushing those thoughts out into the world. I kept saying, evil is going to be here. I'm going to see evil. Evil, blah, blah, blah. Okay? As soon as I said, you know what, screw this, I'm tired of living in fear, all of that went away. I used to close my eyes and see skeletons. I would see blood. I would see bodies. Okay, I'm not kidding you. Horrific, disgusting things when I first started my journey because I was so focused on how afraid I was. I was so focused on evil, being able to see it, experience it, opening my eyes and wondering if it was there. I was so afraid. But when I said, you know what, no more, I'm not going to live my life in fear, it all went away. Now, I have a whole video on this. I believe it's called How to Stop Seeing Scary Faces. It's one of the videos that I made when I very first started this channel, so you're going to have to go back a ways, but I talk about all how I did that. So all of that to say is, you can easily and effortlessly connect to spirit without having to worry about anything negative happening. When you focus on saying, I'm connecting with love and light, when you focus on saying, I'm connecting to someone's loved one in spirit, to connect them in compassion, joy, happiness, that is what will happen. You can also do something that I like to call the white light therapy. You can shield yourself and envision a white light covering you and maybe building a cocoon around you before you connect and saying, this is the white light of God, of the universe, of source, however you see that, and saying nothing evil can penetrate this. I started doing that in the beginning too, and it did help me. Another thing I like to suggest is crystals. You can use grounding crystals to help keep you grounded, to help you feel safe and nurtured. Tiger's eye, black tourmaline, hematite, those darker crystals are really good at helping you feel grounded, helping you feel secure. But I also want to say, now that I've given you all that, you don't need any of it. What you really need to know and take away from this is what you say goes. If you say no evil or no negativity, only love and light, only connection in love and happiness and joy, that's what happens. When you focus on fear and you focus on negativity, that is what is attracted to you. When you focus on your power, standing firm in your power, firm in the fact that you are in charge of your aura, your spirit, your life, you are in charge of what happens to you spiritually, you get to set the rules. Are there any risks or dangers associated with mediumship? I think this is a great question, and I'm sure that this person, when they asked, is gearing it towards negativity, which I just answered. So go back to the question before this, how can I safely connect with spirits? But I'm going to answer this one in a different way that I think the person's asking the question. For me, there's no dangers in mediumship. I have given hundreds, maybe even close to 1,000 readings by now, and it has been very positive for me, beautiful. I've never connected to a spirit that didn't listen to me. I've had spirits come forward where my client said, you know what, I didn't get along with them in life, I don't want them here, and I've said, you gotta go, and they've gone. So I personally have never experienced anything dangerous with mediumship. I've never experienced a spirit following me. I've never experienced a spirit attacking me. I've never experienced a spirit being nasty or mean or hurtful. I feel like the dangers in mediumship are more because of the living people. When I connect to spirit, I feel so good and alive and uplifted and joyous. I could give mediumship readings all day long. It's the living people that really give you that risk or that danger, because they're going to judge you. They're going to leave mean comments. If you create a YouTube channel like this, they're going to leave nasty, mean, hurtful comments. Your friends and family might put you down. So for me, the risks have nothing to do with spirit, because I love to connect to spirit. The risks have everything to do with the living. How do I know if the messages I'm receiving are genuine and not just my imagination? Your genuine thoughts from spirit, your genuine feelings from spirit, your genuine visions from spirit, your genuine knowings from spirit are going to feel light. You don't even have to try. And you'll know that you're making it up when you start saying, oh, that's not right. Oh, did I really get that? No, that can't be. The genuine hits that you get from spirit are going to be right away. They're going to flow. They're going to feel light and airy. They're going to feel good. It's when our analytical mind comes in that we start making mistakes because we don't want to look stupid. We don't know if we got that right. Maybe I shouldn't say that. That can't be true. Okay, when your analytical mind kicks in, that's how you know that you're moving away from connecting to spirit and your mind has turned on and you're not making genuine connections. And the last question I have here is, what should I do if I feel overwhelmed or scared by my mediumship experiences? And to that, I'm going to say to stop. If you feel overwhelmed or scared at all, stop. Back away from it. Take a break. If you're learning mediumship, take a break. Take a break for a month, 6 months if you have to. There's no reason to push yourself if you're feeling overwhelmed. There's no competition to get through. There's no end of the line that you've got to reach at a certain amount of time to be a good medium. You are not trying to force anything. Mediumship is very natural. It should flow very easily. If something scary happens that you don't want, say stop, no more. And then just walk away from it for a little bit. Put the journaling down, put the sitting in the power down, put the meditations down. If you're taking an online course, put that down for a minute. There's no reason to be overwhelmed or scared at all. And if you are, you have every right as the power, as the being inside this body to say no more. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. I love making them for you so much. If you have a question that I didn't answer here, go ahead and leave one down below. I will make you a video. I love doing this stuff. If you're interested in learning how to become a medium, I have 2 amazing courses that can help you achieve that goal. My students are rocking these courses and loving them. I would be so honored to have you in the course at soulcareintuitive.com. As I always say, I hope you have a great day, my lovely friend. Bye.